welcome back to another Models by Me video, this time of Dora Wings 1/72 scale Percival Vega Gull, and this variant pressed into military service. So what we'll do is, as per usual, we'll have a look at the outside of the box, then the contents, the instructions, and then finally the sprues themselves. So a little bit of history on the Vega Gull. It was produced in 1935 and retired just after the war. It was mainly used by the Air Force and Fleet Air Arm, though initially was used as a bit of a tourer aircraft. Then it got pushed into military service, hence the military service version box. Not got much else on it, I'm afraid. And the only thing I can say is that, by looks of things, has the exact same engine as the Tiger Moth we've just looked at. So, yeah. Anyway, outside of the box, so nice, lovely artwork of a couple of the RAF guys sat in front of what's sat to the side of the Gull. I'm just going to refer to it as the Gull from now on. Nice, lovely artwork. Shows shows the camouflage. Nice, typical English countryside weather. Good Dora Wings on the top corner. It nicely tells you what it is. 1/72 scale. You can see scale here, but the 72nd, bit washed out with the colour of the grass there, so it's quite hard to see there. Side of the box. The Dora Wings' own Facebook page, email address, website. The Vega Gull in civilian version service. A Blanca CH300 and a Condor Legion 109A variant. One of the earliest versions of that plane. And we've got Dora Wings again, the front box art, what it is, and the scale and display. So if you stack the model on the shelf like this, you can still see what it is without tilting your head. This side, eBay seller. And we've got the alternate decal options for a greased variant, if I recall. Size of the model. Does include photo etch. Yay. Paints and glue are not included. Dora Wings. And then this side. Yep, pretty much the same. What it is, scale, company, and the box art again. And this time, if you want to display your models this way, while still on a shelf, boxed. Underside, empty box. Let's have a look at the contents then. So let's open them up. So we've got a nice resealable bag here, so you can put your sprues back away. You've got the instructions there, basically all the sprues, and I'm pretty certain the photo etch is hiding in there somewhere. Yeah, there it is, along with it in the decal sheet. But it normally ends up. Nice little plane. And whoop, instructions. Nope. Paint guide. Ooh, was that a third variant? Belgium during the phony war. Okie dokie. Spoilers. And it's the instructions. And now an empty box. Instructions. So, quite nicely at the top here, as per usual, explains a little bit of history on the plane itself. Then you've actually got a sprue guide. So, have you got all the sprues required? Even comes with a film for the instrument panel. Ooh, paint mask for the cockpit. And I'm guessing that's going to be for the wheels as well. Interesting. And then all the various symbols. Let's have a look at the first page. So this kit, by the looks of things, breaks pretty much all trends when it comes to the models. I think especially on every single one I've looked at and did an unboxing of. You start off with the wheels. The wheels are the very first thing to go on. That is new. I've never seen the wheels being the very first thing to work on. Then the instrument panel, which I would expect to appear right at the beginning. Speaking of instruments, there's the throttle lever. I'm guessing that's another lever for flaps, and I would say landing gear, but this thing's got fixed landing gear. Fuel mixture. But yeah, you got all those. That's going to be so C37, 38. These are all going to be the grey plastic sprues, A3's plastic film. Tells you nicely, film. And when you see the numbers here are kind of like greyed out, that's the photo etch. Then we glue the instrument panel into the top front section of the fuselage on the cockpit section. Okay. Another photo etch piece goes on there. Then the wings. Okie dokie. So yeah, there's all the wings going on. We've got a separate aileron as well there going on. So I know I said before I'm not overly keen on the separate ailerons, but sometimes, especially on, it's more on the earlier kits, these later ones, they do look better. They actually look like part of the wing. And then the light there, so you can cut the hole out for the light, and then so you got photo etch back piece, the disc, or reflective disc, and then the clear plastic over the front. Then the lower part of the fuselage, so this is a 4-piece fuselage, if that's an additional piece there. So you got the sides, upper and lower, and drilling holes there, which is its own instruction piece. So to begin with, we started everything else bar the cockpit section. Okay, ignoring this bit, which you normally see in the rest of the instructions. Every other plane we look at is always pilots, seats, normally an instrument panel there. But nope, you literally make everything else first, and then you work on the cockpit. I love how there's a little door in the back. I'm guessing that's not supposed to be a door, especially if you stick it on a shelf right there, but that's kind of amusing. So we've got the seat belts, compass stand, couple tiny little levers to glue in. Ooh, they're going to be fun. So pilot, co-pilot seat, and then the passenger seats at the back, which completely block up the door. So yeah, definitely not door. Then the foot pedals to activate to work the rudder, photo etch again, and the piece at the front of the firewall to block off the engine. There's a lot of cutting away in this kit. I haven't alluded to it before, and there's a couple of other bits. There seems to be a lot of cutting. The three sides of the fuselage, because there's the top piece that we did earlier. Glue him on, and the rudder. And do the engine and the canopy section. Canopy section do not glue. How is it supposed to stick there then? Oh, that's do not glue. So what's that symbol supposed to be then? Probably referring to as like PVA, or do not use plastic cement. The rest of the canopy with the doors. And the tail surfaces. Underside of the engine with the exhaust. Then you can glue the wings on. Little extra pieces, so I don't know what those are. Along with the wheels, tail wheel. And I would imagine those are probably the early or other variant of the P-tail tubes. Say the airspeed. Still working on the underside. Couple of extra pieces. Sorry, I don't know what these all are. That's what I would normally expect the P-tail tube is. So what's these little things underneath? Aerial, one of the last things to go on, as well as extra pieces on the outside of the wings. There's a lot of little extra pieces to glue on this. And this is a tiny little plane. You'll see that again when we look at the sprues. It's the tiny little thing this thing is. Paint guides. So this is 42nd Squadron, Royal New Zealand Air Force. In Rongatai, 1944. Apologies if I mispronounced that. And that's pretty typical colours. Weirdly does not state what the colours are. So the top's obvious because that's going to be just to use the Humbro colours, 29 and 30. Dark earth, dark green. I would imagine the underside probably being sky, to be honest, but that looks more duck egg, year in year. Not sure. Seems a bit odd. It's like, here you go, it's the colour scheme, but we're not actually going to tell you what the underside blue's supposed to be. Could be sky blue. They did use sky blue at one point as well. Oh, and the next one. Delivered to the Secretary of State of Air in July 39. Attached to the allocated to the British Air Attaché in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So, kind of say it's an Argentinian one. At least it was based there. So, yeah, plain grey aluminium. Well, I don't think aluminium because it's a wooden plane, so grey. Again, nothing there. But as alluded to earlier, that's not the last of the instructions. Sorry, a quick flick over to have a look, see if there was any clues on the different paints needed. But as alluded to earlier, here's the Belgian government's version during the phony war. That's not handy, guys. So there are two sides of the propeller. Now, it's two sides of the same propeller, as you can tell here. So you've got grey and then the black. What will probably be the case is the grey is at the front and the black is at the back. But doesn't really say. I would imagine so. But not too bad. Otherwise, I'd say it's no clue as to what colour is supposed to be used. Some form of grey again, but what specifically, do not know. And the other side, which was on the side of the box earlier, is... No, beg your pardon, it was Argentinian. So this is actually the Argentinian version. In another grey colour scheme. You can tell they didn't update the thing here because they show grey on the outside, but then the propeller's got black pointing backwards again, like that one. But another nice little aircraft. So yeah, you can get a few of these, and once you know what colour it's supposed to be using. Okay, they might look a bit repetitive, but at least the roundels, tail flashes will look different. So the sprues. So we got, as you saw earlier, there's a few sprues. So first one off the top is the wings. With a light section already cut out, so think it was that wing they said about cutting out the light. Interesting. But the detail, the molded detail, quite nice. You can see the ribbing again. So this is a wooden fabric plane again. Various bits. You've got a couple of footsteps so you can climb up on the plane. Underside, yep, same again. Inside, non-existent again. Fixed landing gear. You're not going to see anything on the inside here. I was going to say no. I was going to say no locator pins, which I was expecting, but there is not ejection pins. Plus side, there are no ejection pin marks. No locator pins, but there are actually on this model. The one thing I do not like is all these little gates to allow the plastic to flow into the actual mold. You're going to snip it off and then you've got to file it flat again. I think we're going to see that trend on a lot of these pieces. But the wings generally look quite nice. I'll save that sprue for last because that's a very busy sprue. So the fuselage next. So the fuselage again looks very nice. Panel lines are quite thin, so if you put the paint on too thick, you might lose it. But the rest of it doesn't look too bad. There's the cockpit section. Yep, that side. No detail there, which most of it would be seats well, that's better. Most of that would be seats, so you're not going to really see much of the floor anyway. There's the door I've referred to it as earlier. Fire shield in the top part of the fuselage that goes on the front here. The underside looks quite nice. Some of the lines there are not too bad. The instrument panel. Let's have a look on this side. Yes, there's a raised bit there. It tells you to sand flat, or cut flat technically. Nothing on the inside on the sides. So all the instruments are in the middle or at the front here. So yeah, quite nice. And the last of the grey plastic, this is what I meant by busy sprue. There's a lot there. So, different seats. Is that 5 seats? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 different seats. I suppose that's going to be for the civilian and military markets. Different propellers. As you can see there. There's propellers this side, hubs this side. The control sticks. Two different rudders. 2 different rudders, and you can see the difference right there. No rear light. A little bit of flashing, that's not good. Real struts. Cover the wheels, just make it a bit more aerodynamic. There's the rear seat. Big hole in the middle for something. Engine front and underside. That is the tail surfaces. Another bit for the underside. Another bit for the front of the engine. Yeah, so if you know what you're making, you can just get the same. You can get different kits and use the leftover like decals from a civvy version and make the civvy version again. So hopefully not too bad. Details quite nice. That's the wheels again. But the wheels are hiding in there. So why would you need those? Unless versions of the civilian ones, or versions of the military versions, didn't have these. They did have just open landing gear. A bit of a mystery kit, this one. There's quite a bit extra on here, which appear to be actually for something else. yeah, you got different tail surfaces as well. Okie dokie. And then the clear plastic, which I'm just going to leave in the bag again. But yeah, that's clear. And looks quite nicely moulded as well. Again, you get two of the same pieces, so yeah, is it one's going to be for military and one's for civilian, or vice versa. But yeah, it looks quite nice. The details, like the window frames, are nicely lined, so should be easy to paint if you decide not to use the masks. But yeah, quite nice. Okay, let me... Oh, hold on, there's one more bit. The photo etch, which again is only in a little baggie, along with the decals. And the masks, so that's the mask there. And the photo etch are quite nice. All the little, I'm going to say gates, I know they're not gates, all the little bits to hold them in place look quite thin, so they're not going to cause too much problems trying to cut them off. But yeah, overly quite nice. Some of that is really quite small, as you would imagine with photo etch. There we go. So I can imagine you cut some of these off and then you'll never see them again. There's the instrument panel. You could almost make out exactly what each one of those dials actually is. So very nicely detailed there. Nicely printed. Final thought. So this looks like it's going to be a nice little plane to build. I have made a Dora Wings model before, which for those that have kept track of the various videos on the channel, it is the Lysander. And if you've watched that video, I do not like it. I won't reveal too much. Go watch the video. It's only a small post build review of the Lysander. But I'll explain the various problems I've had with that kit in there. But just to say, with the problems I had with that one, and seeing how much detail is again on this one, I can imagine similar problems. But that may be a one-off, and this kit may actually be quite a lovely little kit to put together. As I say, I've only made the one Dora Wing, so my view is slightly skewed on the awkward side. So, yeah, let me know, have you actually made this one before? Is there any, say, traps, or is it a really easy kit to put together? Or actually, yes, is it awkward? Hit the like button and subscribe for more, for the follow-up on this kit, and it will be the last of the trainer aircraft that I've currently got. So, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye.